Shalom. I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rechak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, make sure y'all, check this documentary out that the elder Yashawamba put together, so you can catch it on his Odyssey. Obviously, it would not be able to be aired on YouTube in its entirety, for obvious reasons. But this is a good video. It's a little lengthy, but he puts everything in there. He puts all the receipts in that video. All right, and this is like a snippet from the video where a few years back, when Esau was rolling out the those serum shots, you had certain Israelite groups who clearly did a deal, or clearly were compromised, that were urging their followers to actually go and receive it, go and take the them serum shots. And now that Tony Fauci and others are under investigation, and they're now starting to admit, what these things did to people. We looking back, and you seeing that these Israelites, who were actually telling people to get it, they're acting like as if this didn't happen. It happened. This was years ago. It got swept under the rug. Nobody will remember. But stuff stays on the internet forever, man. Your receipts are always going to be there. And these dudes, they showed you that they're nothing to be trusted. All right, these are wolves in sheep's clothing, if you ever seen them. A perfect example. Because true men of the Lord, they're supposed to have your best interests. They're supposed to be willing to have discernment. They should be able to pinpoint the enemy, point them out, and give the sheep a way to escape. But these are what you call hirelings, like the Lord says. All right. Matter of fact, let me get that. Let's go to John, the 10th chapter. Because back then we were very vocal about this whole thing, and we was telling Jake, don't get it. If you got to lose your job, if you got to lose your comfortability, just don't do it. And that's what it's going to boil down to, even when it comes to when they decide to finally mandate the MOTB. It's going to be based on your level of faith and your mental fortitude to be able to deny self-pleasure and comfortability, which a lot of people showed, during the first trial, when they was trying to fearmonger and get everybody to take the jab, or you was being given ultimatums, comply and take these shots, or lose your job, usually lose your entitlements, your benefits, etc. People chose their comfortability, and that's why they complied. People comply because they want to maintain their comfortability. And you saw that with these different camps. ISUPK in particular. So these men are not really true servants of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, neither are they the true prophets of the Lord. These are what you call wolves in sheep's clothing. hirelings. They did not care about the flock. So this is John 10:12. It says, but he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming. And in this case, the elite, the super rich, the big pharma. All right, that was what was coming by way of the World Economic Forum, WHO. That was who was coming. All right, this government, that was what was coming. It says, and leaveth the sheep and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep. The hireling fleeth because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. These dudes didn't have spiritual discernment enough to know that this dude Fauci was a damn devil. That Bill Gates, another one, was a damn devil. And you know the scripture saying, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. But yet, this particular time out, all of a sudden, these dudes had their congregations believing that something was different this time. That all of a sudden you can now trust them and trust the science and all that other BS, which they're having under scrutiny now. And they're showing that they pretty much lied. They got caught up in their own webs of lies, and it's being outed as we speak. And now, sure, is anything going to come of it? Is they're going to be held accountable? More than likely not, because they're above the law. These were puppets of the elite. They were doing the bidding of their overlords. But it was a success because a lot of damage was done. All right, a lot of damage was done. A lot of bodies reduced, which was their aim and their goal. So instead of standing in the way, to make up that hedge for Israel in a day of battle, they didn't do it. They literally left that gap open and let the enemy come in. It says, the hireling fleeth because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. I am the good shepherd and know my sheep, and I am known of mine. All right. So let me look up that word hireling.
Strong's G 3411. Misthotas. Misthotas.
Misthotas. And it says a wage worker, hired servant. So a lot of these dudes who took this stance and allowed the enemy to intrude, they were more than likely paid off. And back then, I remember it was starting to seem like these dudes were doing ad campaigns for Pfizer, Moderna, all these pharmaceutical companies that made billions of dollars off of this whole psyop. You see? They made a lot of money, man. And this is why that set the precedent, because from here on out, through the WHO, CDC, WEF, they can run these psyops whenever, and they have these people trained. Now, some people since then have did their research and they've woken up. So they ain't going to be able to get everybody this next time. But you can see that they're getting ready to try again with this bird flu thing. But a lot of people were mentally scarred from that. So if they run something like that again, some of these people are already trained. And you so-called prophets, self-proclaimed men of the Lord, you really showed yourselves. And we never forgot that. And if we didn't forget that, the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, never forgot. Isaiah 56:10, it says his watchmen are blind, and some of them are blind because they got paid off. So matter of fact, let me go to the law. Let's go to Exodus, because that's exactly what the bag will do. It'll actually blind you. Yeah, Exodus 23:8, it says, and thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise and perverteth the words of the righteous. Let me get that in the New Living. It says, take no bribes, for a bribe makes you ignore something that you clearly see. And even at that time, when this was all going on, I remember I used to post up compilation videos of people that actually was taking them. And you saw the different various adverse effects that people were suffering from. You know, people had they were suffering from the shakes. Some people they tongues was hanging down the bottom of their chin. You know, you had people suffering from discoloration. What was that effect where basically one side of your face is numb? It was all type of people getting jacked up. And then later you start seeing people literally drop suddenly. We was putting these videos up. Some of our videos was getting striked, obviously, but we managed to put them up, and I made a series out of it. Never trust thine enemy, or who shall pity. You know, going back to Sirach the 12th chapter, who shall pity a charmer that's bitten with a serpent? Like you don't think that the nature of a snake is to slither and get you comfortable, to lure you in so that he can catch you and put his fang into you and I be pricked therewith. We was warning Jake back then, and we was being called conspiracy theorists and you name it. And them dudes like to go off the motto, no cowards. So they had to prove to everybody, yeah, we're not cowards. And the ridiculous arguments and talking points that they were making, it was cringeworthy. Other Israelite groups should have been on their neck, but we was the only ones going in on them. The excuses that they were making, one, we want to prove that we're not cowards. We don't move in fear. If we survived the crack cocaine epidemic, if you take pharmaceuticals, so why not, show that we're not afraid and just go ahead and take it? And you were literally the whole time, you were the ones being cowards because you were straight up complying. And go and watch Yashawamba's documentary. These dudes literally had face scanners to check your temperature. It was all that going on. They was social distancing, even in their own schools. Let me play this. Play some of this.
Government.
Oh, it's unavailable. Damn.
Government is a drug dealer.
So either the brother just maybe put it on private and not left it up, because I know how YouTube get, man. I hope they didn't strike him. Hopefully he just maybe put it. He probably previewed this and shared the link so that brothers and sisters can have access to the actual documentary. But he probably took it back down, knowing how YouTube worked. All right, but you see this this video, man. These dudes were operating like real freaking cowards, man. But they have the nerve to refer to themselves as no cowards. That's essentially what you do when you comply with your enemy. You showed your weakness of faith in this time. So especially when this beast gets even more stern, when he come down with his relentless tyranny and force everybody to take the C hip, you dudes already showed what you're gonna do. You're gonna lay down. And the enemy is going to walk right over you, and you're going to be had in derision. And everybody that follows you because you're false prophets, they're going to be also had in derision. Let's go to let me X this out. Let's go to the Apocrypha. And I believe it's Second Ezra, the 16th chapter. Which is, this is dealing with trial. You being tested, you being tempted of your faith. Are you going to remain faithful and steadfast unto death, or are you going to strive for the truth unto death? Or are you going to fold? Are you going to give in? You're going to comply with the enemy and be had in derision. That no coward stuff, y'all prove that that's all BS. It's all for show. It's all for bravado. That's what you portray as your image. Wearing all black. A lot of ex-cons. We not afraid of nothing. We're militant. But soon as when Esau comes down upon you, you dudes folded. Yeah, Second Ezra 16 and 68, and it says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols." And in the case of the hour of temptation, because that's going to happen again, that sea-hip is going to be that idol. Because it's tied in with the image of the beast and the fact that Esau's trying to bring forth transhumanism, which is an agenda of the beast, to connect you with his technology so that he can actually control you. And he become a god and a lord over you. So that thing will become like an idol. People in lines to get it, people rushing to get it, because they're gonna want to return back to their comfort zone. You mean if I can get this, I can have control of my, my money. I don't have to carry wallets around. I could use my hand to open up doors and use machines. I can make purchases without having to pull out a cash or a card. I don't have to. I can't get robbed by anybody. So people are going to think it's convenient and it's going to be comfortable because they're going to be able to, live their normal everyday lives, but just with that left hand enhancement from Shaitan. So that thing is going to be like an idol, man. It says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot." And a lot of our people that are weak and want to be in comfort, in their comfort zone, they're not going to be willing to suffer through the adversity. Because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a moment of affliction, applying pressure to our faith to see where our faith is at. And a lot of these dudes are going to fold like they folded back then. Let me get Proverbs. Proverbs 24 and 10. And it says, "If thou faint in a day of adversity, thy strength is small." And so really you're weak. These dudes, they look tough. They might appear like they're strong, but really they're weak. Meanwhile, those who are willing to go through the straight gate, our bodies might be weak, but inwardly you're being renewed and you're being made stronger and stronger through the adversity, through the suffering, going without the pleasures of this life. It ain't gonna have any bearing on you when that time comes. He threatens you with your livelihood to take that sea-hip, the mark. you already gonna be in that mind frame. I'm not succumbing to none of this. The hell with this job. The hell with this house. The hell with whatever physical possession that I have. The hell with that, because I'm willing to lose it all and gain Yahushai in eternal life. All right, and that's why the Lord said, when you come to serve me, prepare thy soul for temptation. Let's go to Sirach 2. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. And what does it mean? What does temptation mean? It literally means to test you, and sometimes it comes through the desires that you have, and this, James said, blessed is the man that endureth it, and it, when he is tested and he overcomes it, he's crowned, with eternal life. Them dudes over there, ISUPK, they're surrounded by pleasure. When they promote them Passovers, they talking about smoking weed and marrying wives and drinking Hennessy and eating fried chicken. That's what they get into. They love their life on this side. They love this world. So they're gonna urge you to be in the same mind frame. Just take it. Because you're going to want to eat. You're going to want to keep your job. Matter of fact, hold up. Now, there was a video from years back.
For all of you idiots that
let me
that said, I don't want to take the vaccine.
Let me X out of that. You see, he said the V word. You can't even do that. You know what I'm saying? Without the algorithm being triggered. So that's probably why they took the video down. All right, but anyway, this is the video. This was on Sodnetter years ago, and I remember watching this, and I did a reaction video to it, because these dudes, they show that they literally have no faith. They can be out there on the street corners, they sound stern. They be out there and they quoting them scriptures. They look militant. But when you observe how these dudes were behaving, these dudes showed cowardice. We survived through that, and none of us took them shots. None of us. And brothers had kept their jobs. Some brothers that may have lost their jobs, they ended up still getting a job, and they're still able to take care of themselves. But listen to what these dudes were saying.
But
Check one. Can y'all hear this?
Exactly. Like the freedom that they have is amazing.
Okay.
Like, we in the depth of the COVID-19, supposedly, right? Over 1,000 dead a day. And by the way, the biggest spur on of that COVID-19 busted out in New Rochelle, New York, the so-called Jew area. That's where it bust out at. Then it spread down there in Brooklyn.
Right, in the leadership that's over top of black.
Shortly after that, of course, they broke brothers' spirits with the dope, with the beautiful everybody.
I think it's let me get right here.
The first thing that she did was came out there and said, well, we have to forgive those cops. I already forgave them. That hell and that chaos, it immediately turned on him. And a sister, you trying to make the oppressor straight, but the Most High already made him crooked. You can't do it. Salaki, sir.
I'm right. Please,
sir.
I want to jump in there.
Yeah, if I may, Salaki, sir, I know you're about to go, Salaki, sir, if I may, but with your diet was bringing out was like heavy. We're quick to forgive. Like, we'll forgive the oppressor at the arraignment. When you're going to say guilty or not guilty, it's like, well, that you don't even let it even go that far. And with George Floyd, and like we've seen, sir,
hold up.
It brings me to things in perspective, so I don't have to compartmentalize different situations that I see on the news.
in the house with your head wrapped up like the mummy.
All right, sir.
Damn that. You know what I mean? Please.
If I may, sir. Oh, Salaki.
Please, go ahead.
Okay, if I may, sir. Because I was watching on the news where they got this technology where once the vaccinations come out, they're going to connect the vaccinations, who's been vaccinated to who hasn't been vaccinated. So like when you go into airports, you're going to have to prove that you've been vaccinated. When you the oppressor is such the devil that the Bible speaks of. What are you going to do if you try to say, okay, I'm not going to get it when it's time to renew your car registration, or to re-up on your car insurance, or to get your food stamps or your welfare? It's like a lot of these people, and then what you hear a lot of people saying is that they're going to have the microchip is going to be inside of the vaccination, and then
now this is allegedly YouTube. All right, this is please don't get me for this. All right, but what this dude is saying, he's pretty much asking these questions because they don't know how to get around that. And these dudes, everybody was worried about if they will be able to continue to function if they don't get it. So it was like when he was explaining this, he was giving away the fact that they didn't have faith. They didn't think that they would be able to continue their lives without it. And there was speaking on how difficult it'll be and the number of things that you won't be able to do without it. Then he threw the C-hip in there because we know that they teach against the C-hip. So this is very telling. When Esau comes in and he makes this thing mandatory, they're gonna fold. And plus, because they already believe that it's not the MOTB, they're going to go on and take it, and everybody that followed them is going to take it. All right? They're going to take it, and everybody that follows these dudes are going to take it.
We're going to be controlled. And I'm like, well, okay, so if you had a microchip inside of you, right? So that's going to make you buy gifts on Christmas? You know what I'm saying?
My man, that's...
So, yeah, because the narrative back then was those serums had the MOTB in them, and we didn't believe that, and we wasn't teaching that, but we believed that it was a precursor to it. All right, and how they handled everything, and how they were making it hard for you to be able to function. You couldn't go certain places without it. Certain places adopted the QR codes and passports, and you wasn't eligible unless you showed proof of it and the status of it through that technology. That's the precursor to it. So if you failed this, you're definitely gonna fail the ultimate hour of temptation. So these dudes, they showed in this moment that they didn't have any faith whatsoever, which the Lord called out from the beginning. Let's go to Deuteronomy real quick. This is Deuteronomy 32. In Deuteronomy 32 and 20, it says, "And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are very forward generation, children in whom is no faith." So even in this time, the Lord said, shall I find so faith on the earth? Well, not with the 2/3, because the elect, they're gonna show unfeigned faith. They're going to be willing to be martyred. They're going to be willing to lose their freedom, risk being put into prison by the devil. All types of things, man. These dudes, they got something. They got something to live for in this world. That's why when the CHIP comes, when the MOTB comes, they're gonna have a hard time denouncing it, resisting it. All right, and that's why the Lord said, "He that loseth his life, he that loveth his life, shall lose it. But he that hateth his life in this world shall gain it eternal." And you got to be willing to lose your life for the Lord's sake. These dudes are living comfortable, and that's why they gave that advice. They want to be able to keep everything, keep the ball rolling. They want to still be able to have these turn up Passovers. Make all this money, have all these cookouts. So going back to Isaiah 56, his watchmen are blind. Verse 10, they are all ignorant, and you can't be ignorant, man. The scriptures say, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. And you're not a prophet if you getting deceived by the false wonders that this beast is going to be coming with. As it said, even he who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. Yahushua said, they're going to come with signs and wonders that if it be possible, they should deceive the very elect. But we know that the elect won't be deceived by that. And the elect wasn't deceived by what happened a few years ago. But these dudes, they fell for it. So they definitely didn't have the discernment of true prophets. Okay. The wise, the prudent foreseeth the evil and hideth themselves. But the simple pass on and are punished. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're covering up if there was any casualties in a camp. They're keeping it super tight and quiet so that nobody would know. Because at least Nate admitted that some people in his congregation did. It says they cannot bark sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Meaning what? Loving to be comfortable. Loving their comfort zone. Because they settled upon their lease. They say evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Yeah, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. And yeah, or else they wouldn't have took the 501c3 charter. Which muzzles them. And now that they can't really give the true warning. They can't sound that alarm, that trumpet. Or they can possibly get their whole organization shut down. Now you got to comply with E. You done binded yourself with them through that covenant. Because mammon meant the world to you than anything. Not pleasing Yahweh Shem Yahushai or your salvation. It was that mammon. It says, and they are the shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter. And that's what they're looking out for, their own economic interests, their own financial interests, because they're hirelings. All right. And they have zero faith. Going back to Sirach 2. I read one. Let me read 2 again. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Right? So you got to remain faithful, man. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. If you got to suffer loss, if you got to not be comfortable. If you got to step out on faith, because that's how we're going to overcome the wicked one. Our victory is going to come by way of our faith, man. 1 John 5 and 4. And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. You're going to have to go without. You might have to even miss some meals. Whatever has to be done. Whatever you have to undergo. Because the Lord, he chosen us in the furnace of affliction. All right? It says, for gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You know, no matter how much pressure is applied to you, you're not going to bend or fold. You're not going to comply and be trodden down under foot of the enemy and be had in derision. All right, because the Lord's elect are his. And the Lord said, can no man pluck them out of his hand? It says, believe in him and he will help thee, order thy way aright, and trust in him. Yeah, the Lord, he doesn't disappoint, man. Everybody that put their trust in him. The Lord said, cursed be he that put their trust in man. For in vain is the help of men. And you're expecting your enemy to help you. But then does it not say at the end of Sirach, the 12th chapter, that, you know, when adversity comes, he's the first one there. But in the end, he will undermine thee. And that's you can't trust him. It says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest you fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fall. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in the time of affliction. And we're all going to go through that at some point during this time of Jacob's trouble. Even the Lord told his disciples, be of good cheer. You know, you're going to go through tribulation, but be of good cheer. I overcame the world. All you got to do is just follow his example. He was the author and finisher of our faith. All right. These dudes are going to lay down. That's what they're going to do, because they have no faith. All right. There is really softness up under all that bravado, militant, you know, tough guy act. But when it boils down to it, they ain't going to be willing to die for this truth. All right, it says, woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands, and a sinner that goeth two ways. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, and therefore he shall not be defended. You know, and like going back to Proverbs 24 and 10. You know, if a man faint in a day of adversity, his strength is small. All you got to have is faith, man, and that's how we're going to be saved. The just shall live by his faith and not by sight. Just keep that in mind, man, going into these days. It says, woe unto him that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? Okay. So, yeah, we just going to fall into the hands of the living power, man. All right. And these false prophets, you know, a lot of people are going to die following after their pernicious ways. Okay. These were literally hirelings, man, that did not care for their sheep. You know, how else are you going to get your food stamps, and you know, how are you going to be able to get your car registration renewed? How are you going to be able to do this and do that? You idiot. It's called faith, man. It's 1 Peter. And I'm going to start at verse 4. I start at 3. It says, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, which according to his abundant mercy have begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahushua Mashiach from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you, who are kept by the power of the Most High through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time. So the Lord's going to keep us by the power of the Most High through faith. That's what's going to preserve us. Because we have kept his word, he's going to keep us from the hour of temptation, which is going to try all them that dwell in the earth. All right. Wherein you greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, you are in heaviness through manifold temptations. Yeah, I'm going a day or two without meals. You know, I'm possibly finna lose my home or my apartment. You know, my woman is threatening to leave me with the kids because she's getting weak. She's becoming Lot's wife. You know, so there's going to be a lot of manifold temptations. But even then, we got to stay firm. These dudes, they already proved themselves. All right. Plus, they already don't believe that the sea hip is what it is. So the beast already got these men. They're false prophets. They're gonna have the beast's name marked on them, so that they can continue with their lives and continue to act like they're true servants and prophets of the Lord. And that goes not just for Johanna and Tazaryak and them. That goes for these other groups too. Especially if they still can't see it at this point. It says that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold, that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, and that's to put you to the test through the adversity, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua Mashiach. Okay. I'll read the next couple of verses and I'll close out. It says, whom having not seen you love, in whom though you see him not, yet believing. And that's faith. Substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You rejoice the joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls. So nobody is saved yet until your faith, your ultimate act of faith being tested actually happens. And if you pass that test, then the Lord's going to bring you through the fire and then you're going to be saved. Okay. So, yeah, man, I had to do a follow-up video, you know, especially the video that Elder Yashawamba put up. And Lord willing, what I'll do is I'll put a link, because it looked like the video was down. So what I'll do is I'll put a link to his Odyssey page with the video in my description so you can access it. All right. And you're going to watch it and you're just going to be shaking your head. You're going to cringe. You know, you can clearly see that these dudes are weak. They're cowards. They have no faith, and they're going to deceive everybody that follows them into taking the MOTB. All right. And you know, we blasted these dudes. We warned them. And you're going to see. You should be able to detect who your true shepherds are now and who aren't. So with that, you know, Lord willing, y'all were edified. I'm give all praise, glory, and honor to y'all, Bashim Yahweh Shai. And until the next one, Shalom.